Hi everybody, this is quarantine day 15, and this is the evening episode. Alright, another hobby of mine other than gardening is making alcoholic beverages, namely cider, beer, wine, and a little thing called Groot. Today I'm working with some cider. This is the last of my 25 gallons of cider that I made with my neighbor's apple trees. She had a bumper crop and really needed somebody to pick them because the bees were just going wild. So, and I've done it in past years, very happy to. They're not exactly pristine apples, they're not sprayed, they're very, say, organic, let's say, in every organism sense of the word. So, 20 of the gallons have been already bottled. This is kind of the slow poke that I've been working with. Actually, the apples are the slower part. I just kind of kept them in a refrigerator, tried to just keep them okay, and then I cut up some and froze them. And it's just, when you're dealing with this kind of quantity, it's pretty substantial amount of apples, and so it kind of puts a tax on your equipment as far as how much you can have in each phase. So, all right. So this was the fermenting bucket. You see right here, and I'll show it to you in a minute. This is just a good sign. That was like, it was bubbling up. We still got like a little bit of foam here, so that's all a good sign. But this is going to need to be cleaned. All right, so let's have take a look at this. So that is apple. That's most of the alcohol and everything has been made. It's had a little bit of sugar added to it, so it really got things going. I used like a wine yeast. I'm not too particular with my cider, to be honest. I'm still in the very experimental phase of it. So, what happens after you, maybe someday, if I do more and more of these videos, you'll see step 1 and step 3. This is kind of step 2 in the overall process. Sometimes there's a step 2.5 if I move it to what's called a so it's going to secondary, and then it goes maybe to a tertiary container. So we've got our, I sanitized all of this inside and out. So this is all ready to go right here. This is where it's going to go. This is a little piece of equipment that sends it on its way. So we're going to just, it's like a siphon, we're just going to let gravity do the work here in a moment. So, alright, so, as you can see, and this is why I sanitize it all inside and out. I want every part of it to be clean. There's the bucket I was using to sanitize my stuff with. It's still got some special brewing sanitation liquid in it. Technically it's rinseless. I still rinse. I don't know if that's technically kosher, but you know, that's what I do. So yeah, so we just let gravity do its thing, and why we do this is we're just moving the cider off of a lot of the yeast. So we see, as you can probably see, like around the rim here, that's a lot of like yeast that's kind of done its job, given its life for this cider. And we can kind of take a look at the clarity of the cider. That's still looking pretty good. It's going to, of course, be hazy at this point. This is still pretty young cider. So yeah, yep, this is a big hobby that I do, and it's a lot of fun and quite rewarding. So yeah, so this is one thing that goes on. Then what I got here, sitting in our sanitizing water, so I've got the cap. Now, this I might not worry too much about rinsing, because it's not going to be in really direct contact. So actually I might just let it sit. But this guy, that was the plug. This guy, I'm going to give this guy a quick rinse off and then fill it with some water. Of course, washing your hands is just a perpetual part of this process, so we just give it a good rinse. I don't know, I'm superstitious about letting any of that sanitizing fluid back in. If I was to leave the water here in the airlock in and it was sanitizing liquid, if for some reason the cider got excited, which is really unlikely at this time, I let it sit a little bit long in the fermenter, it would just maybe backfill into it, so I'm not into that. I'm suspicious of it. So this is going to be going into the top, and we're almost there here. So one thing I'll do is I'll maybe tip the bucket a little bit. Uh-oh. That's not good. This is not good because we're accidentally adding some oxygen to it. So I might not want to come here. And this is just part of the process. Just trying to get it to work. I'm cringing at these bubbles. So this isn't perfect technique, clearly. There's a little bit of particulate in here, probably from the apple itself, and I'm really trying not to get too much of the particulate to go over, because we're trying to leave it behind. And every time it squeaks like that, I'm kind of like, no, but I don't want to miss a lot of this stuff that's at the bottom. But I think we're pretty good here. So try one more. Let's see if just giving it a clean start works here. Okay, that's helping. Alright. It's probably more harm than it's worth. Alright. One thing that's always good while homebrewing is to have a towel. Sometimes you spill a little bit, like I just did there. So, yeah, this is the little stopper. So, we're going to put our airlock in, and that still is sanitized. And voila. It goes in here. And then I go and I take that and I put it in a dark, cool place, basically a closet in my basement. And I'm probably going to let that sit for a very long time, because I have a lot of cider to drink, a lot of bottles to open up. So, alright, here we go. Bye.